3 years ago, I was working 16 hours a day and my business was not growing at all. 16 hours, 7 days a week, and almost an entire year straight. And every single month, I would open my dashboard and see the exact same numbers sitting there and staring at me. Same revenue, same customers, same everything. Months after months after months. I genuinely thought I was going crazy. And look, it does not matter what you sell or what industry you are in. The trap is exactly the same for everyone who falls into it. And I fell into it hard. I used to wake up at 6 a.m. every single morning and was building Excel sheets of people to message. I went through that list one by one and sent message manually to every single person on it. I was a hard-working sales guy running 24 hours a day and 7 days a week without stopping. But at the end of every single week, I would just look at my revenue and think, okay, it is growing, but why is it growing so slow? And here is what I learned. And I wish somebody had told me this on day one when I started, before I wasted full year of my life. Working hard has never been the problem. Being the system is the problem. And I'm going to explain you exactly what that means right now. Chapter 1. The trap nobody warned me about. Here is what building a business actually looks like for most of the founders when they are very honest about it. Day 1, you do everything yourself. And that feels completely normal because you're just starting out and there's nobody else. So it's perfectly fine. Day 30, you are still doing everything and it still feels like okay because you are on your hustle mode. Day 100, you are still doing everything and now you are starting to feel genuinely tired. But day 365, you're still doing everything and now you're not tired anymore. Now you are literally trapped. And here is the scariest part of the whole thing. The business cannot grow without you being there every single day. But it can also not grow with you because you are now the bottleneck, standing in your own way. You are the system. The day you stop, the business stops. That is not a business you built for yourself. You technically gave yourself a job with the worst pay out there and absolutely no weekends. So one day I just snapped. I stopped trying to work harder and I started trying to replace myself piece by piece and task by task. And that decision changed everything for me. 3 paths works for every business and any founder at any level. Does not matter what you sell, how many customers you have 0 or 500 customers, the framework is exactly the same. Chapter 2. Finding customers was eating my entire morning. Here is where most founders start drowning first. And it was exactly where I started drowning too. Every single morning, I just used to open my laptop and the first question in my head was always the same one. Where are my customers today? Who do I message? What list do I use? And 3 years gone before I even sent a single message to a single person. So I built a system to fix this completely. I coded something that goes out onto the web by itself every single day. And AI scans multiple data sources automatically and brings me fresh leads every morning without me touching a single thing. No more Excel sheets, no more morning panic, and no more 3 hours wasted before I actually do my productive work. The system goes find the right people for me and hands them to me every single day all on its own. And that was the first piece of myself I replaced. Chapter 3. Writing messages one by one was making me crazy. I used to spend 4 hours writing just 30 LinkedIn messages. 4 hours and 30 messages. And I thought it was very productive and that's the price of doing a business, right? But that was bullshit. Here's the shift that completely changed for me. You do not need to write every single message yourself from scratch every single day. You need to write just one message that actually works really well and then teach a system to send it in a way that you would send it. Over my last year, I went through thousands of real conversations with real potential customers across every situation you can imagine. I took all of that and combined it into over 1 million sales conversations that we collected and also refined from the web. I used all of them and trained an AI model to craft messages exactly the way I would write them myself if I were sitting doing that manually. Now the system sends messages that sounds exactly like me and performs like me without me sitting there and writing each message word by word. That was the second piece of myself I replaced. Chapter 4. My calendar was quietly killing my business. Every founder falls into this exact trap. And I felt it even harder for 2 full years. Someone wants a call and you just say yes because it feels like an opportunity you should not miss, right? Someone has a quick question and you jump on a Zoom to help them because that feels like being a good founder. Someone wants to pick your brain for 30 minutes and you book the slot right away. And because it feels productive, right? But by the end of every Friday, I had 15 sales calls done. And not one single of them was actually productive for my business. I did this for months, thinking every call was moving things forward when it was actually just keeping me busy. So I went back and extracted all of my conversations so far and the sales transcript. And I asked an AI to go through all of them and put out some top questions that people are mostly asking, kind of objections they have. And I extracted that and again feeded that into the same AI system that I made. I built a full knowledge base of every single question and every answer I had ever given. Now the same system that finds me leads and send messages also answers question with close to 98% accuracy completely on its own. And now whenever somebody raises an objection or goes completely quiet, the system automatically writes the best possible reply to handle it based on all my previous data. And the best thing is, the only time I get notification of a particular chat or reply is when the system generally cannot figure out something by its own. And that is completely fine because that's just 5% of the cases, which alone saved me more than 90% of my time I was spending every single day on this stuff. When all of these three pieces were in one place, my revenue literally doubled and my time was reduced in like half. Same me, same product, same 24 hours a day. But the system changed and that changed everything. The business does not run on one person anymore. It runs without needing any single person to hold it every single day. Now, here is the part I really want you to hear, especially if you are just starting out right now. If you're a first-time founder or a fresher building, your first thing from your bedroom with no funding and no team, do not wait until you think you're big enough to start building systems to automate stuff. You build systems from day one, because if you don't do that, believe me, when you hit the actual numbers, by then you would be too exhausted and you'd be too trapped that you won't be able to think that how to build a system. You will literally be locked into habits that cannot really scale, into calls you cannot say no, and into a version of your business that needs you to exist in order to function. And then you will be exactly where I was 3 years ago. 16 hours a day, zero growth, opening Stripe at midnight, just praying the numbers to be different. And this exact system is now publicly available for everybody to use. If you are stuck in this same trap right now and your business is not growing the way you know it should be, this video and the system is for you. Just drop some comments below and I'll personally help you set up the system for your business. Thanks for watching.